Hello Libra, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Libra is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Libra, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. 3 of Wands. This is a card of virtue. I feel like you're somebody who is not going to do anything that they really don't want to do. On the other hand, I feel like you're willing to do anything as long as it's like legal and ethical. You know, there's nothing that is too challenging for you. There's nothing that you are going to shy away from. You're very open to saying yes to challenges and to new opportunities. You're just as capable of saying no to the things that sort of violate your principles. You have a very strong spiritual compass, you know, and I feel like with this card, your destiny is calling you. I feel like you're being moved into position here, that your boat, your compass, the needle is kind of aligning with a true north somewhere. Yeah. Let's put this card into a little bit of context. Let's see what's going on. There's the 8 of Pentacles. Yeah. I feel like something is shifting into place. Okay. Yeah, there's the 4 of Wands, the Knight of Wands, the Prince of Cups, and 2 of Pentacles. A course correction, a little bit of alignment, right? Something in your life is shifting into place with purpose and with timing. Over here Emperor, yeah. See, 2 Aries cards now. I would definitely watch the Aries reading if I were you. This card is the Sun in Aries. This card is Venus in Aries. You've got a lot of Aries influence here. And then we have a 5 of Wands. We have the Lust or Strength card, and we have the 2 of Wands, which is Mars in Aries, another Aries card. Of course, Libra, as you know, Aries is your opposite sign. So this is the time, Spirit's shifting you into a position of authority and leadership, assertiveness, independence, not reliance on other people. This maybe isn't even really a time for collaboration for you. This is a time of like, you got to do it. You got to, even the 5 of Wands is in the position of your environment. That's not cooperation. This is competition, right? And so it's a little bit of an interesting concept here that we're going to talk about. The idea that you need to do this on your own. You need to do this kind of independently, that you need to get out there and push. And maybe just so that you can feel what it feels like to be in control of your life. And the end result here, the net result of all of this fire, is the control you have over your life. You're getting to do things your way. And your way, not in an ego sense, but your way in a very authentic spiritual sense. We have the Prince of Cups too, right? That authentic self energy. You're a bubble in an ocean right now. You're holding on to your truth. You're trying to maintain your integrity and your peace of mind and your vision and your clarity and your beliefs and values in a very hostile environment. So this is where you push. You assert yourself. Your destiny is calling you. You're being moved into position where you're going to be, you're going to be dominating. Let's just call it what it is. 2 of Wands is dominion. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're just going to take one right out of there. Put Alien Simon Mork Ripley right there on top. ASMR for short. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comments right below the video. Okay. Now, as we look around the room, we see two majors. We see the Emperor and the Strength. Okay, the courage, the confidence, the desire, the lust, the hunger, and the control, the fortitude, the fortification, the structuring. And you really do need both. The only thing we're missing is of course, the Temperance card, right, for the Sagittarius energy. Then we got all the fire signs. But really, it's emphasized on the control and the sort of boundaries and limits and the rules that we sort of set for ourselves and for the people around us. You're really stepping into this boss energy where there is discipline and structure and there is kind of order and there is responsibility. It's not like, let's say, the chaotic energy that we might have with the Strength card or the Lust card. This card is implying, well, see, both cards sort of imply each other. Right? The Lust card is showing a need for discipline. The Emperor card is showing a need for perhaps having a little bit more freedom and creativity and a little bit less discipline. So what we have is the perfect balance of discipline and sort of order and chaos, right? So I like that theme here as well. We got fire, 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 fire. This is also obviously fire. This is also obviously fire. And then we have a couple of earth cards, a little bit of water, no air. No air whatsoever. Because I feel like you're not taking other people's opinions. You're not really listening to other voices right now. I think you're listening to your own truth. I feel like you're in a situation where you don't trust the voices around you. You're not relying on anybody else's opinions. You've got to do what is authentically right for you. And do it your way. And do it with your confidence and from your core, you know. So no swords. I feel like there's no self-doubt. There's no self-criticism. I feel that there's clarity. I feel like there's mindfulness. There's presence. There's no argument. There's no drama. There's just force and fire and progress and you sort of cutting a path through the jungle. Yeah. And I feel like whatever this is, it's your destiny is calling you. And this is you now kind of hearing that call. And like, you know, I kind of feel like what you're moving toward is also moving toward you. It's like two people in a cornfield just trying to find each other, you know. That's kind of what I'm feeling here. It's really awesome cards. The Three of Wands, though, is progress. Expansion. It's momentum. I think what you're working on is starting to show results, and those results are making you even more like gung-ho about your vision. See the sun in Aries here, having that vision that motivates us. I can see it. I can see clearly, you know, the path, and I want it, you know. Or maybe it's kind of like we can see the horizon. We can see the long term. We can see the result. And we're gung-ho for that result. And so we're going to kind of cut our way through the cornfield, you know, as it were. Stay consistent. Build momentum. Yeah. I think that it's, we have this sort of pushback from the Eight of Pentacles, right? Because this energy here, Aries and the Three of Wands, we want to push forward fast, right? But we're being checked here. This is kind of like the cornfield. And it's just saying like we want to run. But we can't run. We need calm, peaceful energy too. And so we don't want to let all of this fire energy get away from us. Because too much fire and we're scorching the earth, right? We don't want to do that. We don't want to, the easiest way to get through the cornfield is just to burn it down. No, don't do that. We're going to be deliberate, meticulous, mindful, careful, respectful, but we're going to do it. And we're not going slow, right? But we're not just doing scorched earth either. You know what I mean? So you're looking outward and you're seeing the potential for you're really having that vision that is confirming for you that this path has great potential. This goal that you have is a worthwhile goal. Again, with this virtue, you have the ability to say yes to something and to say no to something based on how your inner compass is aligning. And there is an alignment here that's putting you toward a particular goal and saying, that's where you're supposed to go. And now it's up to you to figure out how to get there, right? That's kind of like destiny has this destination. We know the destination. We're maybe not sure of the route yet. Well, that could be a reason for no swords cards too. We haven't figured out a plan. We don't have a plan. I'm just going to charge forward, and anything that comes up, I'm going to figure out how to get past it. Any obstacle that arises, I'm going to just deal with it. I'm going to adapt. I'm going to be flexible. So this is confidence. Okay. This is you taking advantage of a really big opportunity. This is you continuing to move in this direction, your true north, and believing that the payoff is forming, that the destination is there and it's meant for you. It's really, really excellent energy. It's the virtue. It's your principles. Yeah. It's you doing the right thing, even if it's difficult. And there's this momentum that's building up, and this kind of speed and this pressure almost that's building up. And that's why we've got this Eight of Pentacles, because this is patience and prudence. This is, we don't want to rush forward too fast because we're so motivated right now. What we need to do is refine our skills. What we need is discipline. What we need is a technique. We need to be very methodical right now. You may want to hurry up and do it. Okay? It's more important that you do it right. Slow is smooth. Smooth is fast. Yeah. Put your focus into mastery, not speed. This is the willpower, the discipline, and the virtue that says, I would love to just take like a rocket ship and get there in 2 seconds, but I know that I've got to be patient on my journey and I've got to do everything right every step of the way. Okay? So you are focused on that mastery, not speed. You're improving each aspect of this path for you is getting the appropriate attention. Removing distractions. Okay? Using this fire energy and directing it. Because see, the fire is your power of attention. It's your vision. It's your eyesight. It's what you look at. Okay? We have too much fire. We're chaotic. We don't have discipline or focus. We're unconcentrated. We're scattered. So you are kind of like you're honing in on those things that really matter. You're paying attention to the details. Your attention is gold. And, you know, you're putting that attention into the details of your path right now, knowing that it is leading to this kind of breakthrough. Okay? Everything is shifting in place, and this card is like you're trusting that, and you're trying not to get anxious. See, the opposite of this card would be the Eight of Wands. It'd be that jazz hands. I'm getting the jazz hands here. I'm tap dancing on the shag carpet because I don't know what else to do. This is saying like I'm channeling all of that into the step-by-step details and being responsible and doing what needs to be done. It's precision. It is the development of skill. This is craftsmanship. This is quality work, you know. And so this is really, really good. Really wonderful. Now down beneath the surface you have the Four of Wands. Four of Wands is a card of completion. First of all, this is Venus in Aries. We've got a lot of Aries energy today, right? So Venus in Aries to me always gives me this impression of like redecorating. It's like you're stepping into your kitchen and you're just having a vision of how it should look. Yeah. And then, of course, you have that vision and you just think, with that, you think of the Three of Wands, you think, well, it's possible. I believe in this vision. I'm capable of fulfilling this vision. This is that redecorating card, you know, where we're ready to make changes. We're ready to sort of decorate our lives in a way that resonates with us the most. We want our lives to become sort of aesthetically pleasing, you know. This is a card of celebration and stability. This is the card of home. This is the card that's saying, you know, something is working. And we're ready for our life to start going our way. And really it's saying like, because the card's in underneath the surface here, This card is saying that you want your life to look a certain way. That you know how you want your life to feel, your environment, you know, your job, your home, your work, your school, your friends, everything. You know how you want your life to be. So you are then, you're doing that, you know, and you're sort of aligning yourself with this inner truth, you know, this Venus in Aries, the desire that you have for your life, how you want it to look, which means we might have to do some redecorating. Yeah. It's a card of strengthening your environment, reorganizing things, cleaning things, getting things into a rhythm, into a system that's working for you. It's kind of like really like another one of these magical circles of protection. This is you protecting your energy, protecting the resource of your attention. In other words, recognizing what things are within your sphere of influence. You want to redecorate your life, okay? What are you actually in charge of that you can do? Let's say you're at work. Can't really redecorate the entire office, can you? But you could set your environment up in a way that's pleasing to you and that resonates with your authenticity and your authentic self to a greater or lesser degree. Maybe your boss won't let you paint the walls, but maybe you could bring some plants and you can bring some family pictures and things like this. And, you know, there are things that you can do. So I think it's kind of like knowing what's within our reach and what's not. Okay, strengthening the environment in that way. Your life is becoming more secure. I think you're protecting that life. You're protecting what is within your circle. Okay? And this is a card of completion. This is the card that really tells me that you're done with, I don't know, like the old life or the way things used to look. I feel like you're taking old pictures off the wall and you're saying, I want to put up something else. Taking all that old wood paneling down, I'm going to put up some really nice wallpaper. Whatever it is, I kind of feel like you're ready to say out with the old and in with the new. Yeah. And that's kind of where we get our Prince of Cups from too. Because the Prince of Cups has this authentic self, you know, this authenticity about them, but it feels like they're in a hostile environment. It's a bubble in an ocean. That you want things to look a certain way, and there is, you know, there's forces around you, emotional forces, that are trying to perhaps get you to conform, or get you to acquiesce, or get you to give up your vision and just blend in with the water around you. Okay? The pressure of the ocean is trying to squeeze that little bubble into smithereens. But you're not having it. You're pushing back, see? So I like the 4 of Wands. Interesting, we have a 2, 3, 4, and 5 of Wands. That's really cool. Okay? And so that kind of is telling me that, look, things have to be done in a particular order. That you can't just go from 0 to 100. You've got to gradually move. Like if you're renovating your house, you can't just snap your fingers and suddenly your house is different. You've got to do step by step. You got to do it one room at a time, or first you have to tear down the old stuff, and then, you know, you got to clean it up, and you got to do things right. You have to tear down the old. You can't just put new wallpaper on top of the old wood paneling. No, you got to take the old paneling down. So it's kind of like there's an upheaval that needs to happen first. You know, things have to happen in a certain order. I don't know anything about home renovation. Maybe that's not a very good metaphor. But you don't want to just start painting the walls then. Well, no, you got to vacuum up all the dust and the dirt and all that. Otherwise, your paint's going to look pretty janky, right? So there's a certain order that we have to do things. We got to make the mess. We got to clean up the mess, and then we can sort of start adding things in that we really are, that we really desire. So there's no rush here. I think that's a really big thing for you. All this fire energy makes us want to go really, really, really fast. Don't hang new stuff on the walls just to get something up there. Take your time and make sure that, you know, like spend hours and hours like thinking of what the one piece of art you want to put up, and then take your time to figure out exactly where you want it. and then measure, get your little bubble level thing out and make sure it's straight and really take your time and put it up there perfectly. Don't rush through it because you're not going to be satisfied with the result. Yeah. The Knight of Wands, however, wants to rush. This is fire that's on fire. It's like we are, even our anxiety has anxiety. Even the rushing, impatient energy is itself rushing and impatient. This is momentum. This is a bold action, high energy, risk-taking. This is the go-for-it energy. We're not hesitating. You are taking a bold action. You are leaping headfirst into something. Don't pause. The worst thing for us to do with this card is to separate the horse and the rider. You don't want to put any air between them. This is like you got to get right down, chest against the back of the horse, and you got to go fast. Putting the swords in between this is kind of like we have this impulse, but then we just said, no, wait, I don't know. Okay, then we're already lost. We have the impulse and we go, we charge forward. But we're doing that now with a sense of direction and patience. Okay? You're taking a bold step toward that destiny, and you're moving with confidence. You're realizing that you are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to exist in your life, and you have a right to want your life to look a certain way, to feel a certain way. Okay? When we say you're redecorating your life, it's physical, it's mental, emotional, it's spiritual, it's creative. Okay? Channel this fire into that direction. Again, I feel like you're being moved into position and then fire. Yeah? It's a really exciting energy. And don't feel frustrated. You have to start moving with this. Your passion now is a gift, and you have to let it move you. At the same time, stay grounded. Don't be too impulsive. Don't get into conflicts. You know what I mean? You're looking for creation. You got to aim your fire at what you're creating. Yeah. Let your movement be visible in your life. You're showing up. You're speaking up. You're leading. Your courage right now is the door opener. You know what I'm saying? So I like this, and I think that this is the beginning of something really fantastic. The Prince of Cups, right? This is that authenticity. This is the bubble in the ocean. And this is, again, kind of feels like you're in a hostile environment. Yeah? It feels like you're trying to maintain course and speed, but there are these other currents that are pushing you around. And I think the reason why this card is up here at the top is because it is your time. This is what's consciously on your mind, is you having some leadership or ownership of your own life. You know, there's an emotional maturity here. And I think that you're trying to you're trying to stand your ground, right, emotionally. There are boundaries. You know, you're not letting the emotional pressure around you crush you or manipulate you or move you. You know, think of a little bubble in an ocean that's just trying to rise. You know, just trying to go up, just trying to elevate their lives. And there's all these other currents of the water that's pushing this poor little bubble back and forth and all around and spinning around. And it's just trying to go up. It's just trying to elevate their existence, you know. And so this is kind of consciously on your mind now, which implies that there was a time where you didn't have this fire, where you kind of let other people kind of call the shots, you know, maybe in traditional Libra fashion. We just deferred to somebody else. Your friends group, what do we want to have for dinner? I don't know, you decide. It doesn't matter to me. You guys figure it out. This is like, no, I want to figure it out right now. I want to get in touch with what I actually want in life, and deep down in my soul, what does my authentic self want for my life? How do I want to decorate? And so giving voice to that part of you. Yeah. Allowing that authenticity, that authentic voice to guide you. So you're holding space for other people still. You're still very compassionate, but you're boundaried. Okay? You're not abandoning yourself. It's not the little bubble just saying, fine, current, take me away. It's saying, no, I'm going to push toward what I truly want. See, the other currents, the emotional currents, could be emotional manipulation. No more of that, right? It could be letting other people's desires or needs or wants or opinions kind of have more influence than your own desires. You know, two people trying to decide what's for dinner, and one of them's going to lose, right? And so it's kind of like saying, I'm done being, I don't know, passive maybe. Okay? Maybe done with that a little bit. You're speaking from the heart, but you're keeping yourself grounded. There's emotional consistency. There's an emotional steadiness. There's a calm confidence in your authenticity. And then that's why now, because you're ready to redecorate. You're ready to make those choices about, what is going to be in your life. Which is leading us to the Two of Pentacles, change. Flexibility, adaptability, balance. Okay? I feel like your priorities are changing. Things are shifting in your life. I think that you're pushing forward and you're causing change. But then also, like, when you assert yourself in the world has a response. Your environment, the things around you, has a response to you. And then that elicits a response from you. And then we're doing this dance back and forth. We're juggling. We're doing a dance with life. The twists and turns and the ups and downs of life. And this is your ability to stay centered and maintain your center of gravity even when your world is shifting. Okay. And so I think that you are kind of, you're creating a disturbance in the force, in the world around you. You're doing something that is, I don't know, contrary to what everybody else expects, or to even contrary to what your life has been thus far. Things are changing. Okay? Things are changing. You're creating a wave, and you're riding that wave. Okay, you're creating change, and then you're flowing with that. And you're sort of like building the momentum up. Okay, and literally this is you just kind of changing your life. This is you changing course. This is you've been moved into position, and you've been fired up, and you've been let loose, and now you're trying to, build whatever this new reality is. Okay? This is alignment in motion. Something in your life is shifting into place with purpose and timing. You are shifting into place with purpose and timing. And you're adapting to this new flow. You're learning kind of the new way of doing things. Okay? You're making different choices. You're making choices that are sort of, in a way we could say, it's hyperbole, but opposite of what you usually do. It's maybe a little George Costanza kind of energy here. You're just going to do the opposite of what you used to do. Of course, this Aries energy is your opposite sign, Libra. So it may feel, at least, that you're doing something completely contrary to like any way that you've ever done things before. I was going to say contrary to your nature, but maybe contrary to that part of our nature that we're familiar with. Okay? Because Aries is your opposite sign. It's part of your nature too. Okay? It's kind of your alter ego. We're sort of moving into that alter ego energy right now. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Okay? These readings are totally free. Let me know which card on the path of the dove seems to resonate with you the most. Yeah? We're going to do an oracle of manifestation before we talk about the path of the serpent. And here we have the guardian armor. Create healthy boundaries and guard against doubt and fear. I hold my sacred space. That's the bubble in the ocean. Okay? You need those healthy boundaries. I want you to type in the comments right now, I hold my sacred space. Okay? I am the guardian of my authentic self. The ego needs to be fortified to protect that kind of like raw authenticity. Yeah? I like that. I think that card really fits in nicely here. Let's talk about our Emperor, because this, again, boundaries. This is a card of structures. Okay? This is a card of discipline and stability and leadership. You're choosing the priorities of your life. Let's say 3. Choose the top 3 priorities right now. And you're going to ignore everything else. And you're going to be very diligent and very detail-oriented about those 3 priorities. Okay? And the rest is not going to interfere with your authentic path right now. Create structure. Time blocks. I think that you're segmenting your life into like a schedule. Maybe you're making lists or rules, or you're sort of building systems that work for you. Okay. You're setting the boundaries that maybe you've needed to set for a while. What's one boundary that you've avoided setting, either for yourself or for other people? Maybe it's the boundary for you that's saying, there's a boundary for me that I don't want to cross. Okay? And I think you're going to be very firm with that. Maybe you're setting some rules for yourself. Take care of any responsibilities, especially ones for self-care, especially ones that are going to enrich your life that maybe you've been putting off. Simplify things where you need to. Break things down into smaller and smaller steps. Okay? You don't need to dominate really right now. What you need to do is stand tall and be clear and be firm. Stability is built through the consistent structure. Okay? This is authority. This is the fortified ego that is protecting that authentic bubble in that ocean of contending forces, the ocean of emotional weight and pressure. Yeah. This is the wall around the garden. And the garden, this kind of shows a wall around a garden too, right? This is you having boundaries and protecting and it's a garden that you are building, that you're cultivating it. You've got to choose which flowers are there, and you're growing those particular flowers because that's what you like, right? And this is you maintaining that and defending that and upholding that. The guardian armor. Okay, healthy boundaries and guarding against fear and doubt as well. That's why there are no swords cards here. Now, in the environment, you have a 5 of Wands. And that could be some competition or friction. Okay, especially when you start living your authentic self, you might feel a little bit of pushback or a little bit of tension from the world around you. It might be a little bit of energy that's kind of testing your boundaries. Okay, a little bit of push-pull. And it might not be a real problem, but it might be like a kind of friction. The people around you or just the world around you kind of testing those boundaries. Maybe not people exactly, but like opportunities. Something comes along and it's going to test how solid your own boundary is, to see if you're going to cross your own boundary, or something coming in to see if they can cross your boundary, just to test those walls a little bit. As soon as you put up a wall, something is going to come along to test that wall. Okay? It doesn't matter if this is like literally a wall around a garden or if it's a boundary in your life. Okay? You're not going to take it personally, though. It's feedback. It's kind of showing you where you might need to build the wall a little higher, right? Or where you might need to be a little bit more firm in your life. Yeah. You're not focusing on the drama. You're just focusing on the goal, and this is you with 5 wands, 5-fingered hand, reaching out into the world and doing it, grasping what it is that you wish for. We're not just here with our hand open, waiting for something to come along and fall in it. It's like we're standing under an apple tree, just like, I hope an apple falls into my hand because I'm hungry. No, you're reaching up and you're grabbing an apple, you're grabbing that thing that you need. Okay, that's what this card is really about. You're channeling your energy into movement, into creativity, into work. This is your energy expenditure. This is your outgo. It could be time, effort, energy, money, or space. That's outgoing. That's reaching out into the world as an expenditure in order to pluck something. Okay? This is healthy strength. This is healthy competition. It's not an ego battle. It's a card that reminds you, too, to control your strength. It's not about who can be the loudest. It's about who can demonstrate the most self-control and really the most stability. Sometimes you have to get angry. Sometimes you have to defend your boundaries. But you have to be in control the whole time. Sometimes the greatest show of strength is to not show your strength. Okay? To just be solid. It shows more strength to control yourself and your behaviors and your volume. Right? It takes way more strength to control than it does to just roar. Okay? So you're learning to hold your center under pressure. You're learning how to be the bubble in the ocean and how to not lose sight of yourself or lose your inner truth. You're moving through that ocean of noise and you're staying aligned with your sense of direction. You're the bubble in the ocean, right? I like that. Part of this, is about the strength card, because both of these cards are Leo cards, right? So the strength card, it is about passion and confidence and life force. It's also about discipline. Okay, it's also about kind of taming that wild force, that primitive and wild strength. Taming it, but not like domesticating it. We want our lion to be a lion. We don't want to transform the lion into a little kitty cat. Okay? So this is that desire. This is that vitality. Your energy is returning. This is you with a hunger and a thirst. You're saying, I want my life to look a certain way. And if we just had this and nothing else, we would be mauling everything in our life. It would just be scorched earth. This needs a little bit of direction, needs control, it needs restraint, it needs mindfulness, it needs patience. But this is that raw animal sort of appetite. You don't need permission to want what you want. Okay? What you need is, direction and discipline. Okay? You're letting yourself take up space. Yeah. Your energy is returning. You're not going to suppress this energy. You're following what excites you. You're following what speaks to your soul. You don't need permission. Courage and strength does not always have to roar. Okay? And you're using this vital force to create and not to tear down. And of course, if you're renovating or redecorating, some things need to be torn down. You're putting in new cabinets, you got to tear out the old cabinets. Yeah. But it's not just destruction. Sometimes there is the need to do that as part of a creative process. Okay? Trust your desire. Trust yourself. Your spirit is pointing you in the right. You're being moved into position, and allow this beast mode energy to be activated. Okay? But it needs to have, obviously, structure around it and containment, and it needs to have that sense of direction. Now we move into the Two of Wands here, which is Mars in Aries. This could be scorched earth as well if it doesn't have direction. This is all about planning and self-confidence, but having the vision, taking the initiative. You're letting yourself think bigger. It's kind of like you're saying, my life could be so much more. You're letting yourself want more. And you're zooming out. You're kind of thinking like, what do I see for myself in the next 30 days? You're making a bold plan here. Your confidence is growing because you are choosing to live the authentic life. You're not waiting around. You're saying, it's go time. I need to go out with my five-fingered hand. I need to go out into the universe and do it. Not just wait for the apple to fall from the tree and hope it lands in my hand, You're not seeking permission. You're leading with your vision. You want what you want, and you don't need to explain or apologize for that. And this is a decision to really live life on your own terms. You're stepping into the vision of someone who knows where they're going and knows why they're going there. Let's look at the mystery card. I love this. It's such a powerful set of cards for you. For this, I would love to see the Empress. I would love to see a 9 or a 10 of Pentacles or Cups. I would like to see maybe even a 6 of Swords. If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments. It might be the Adjustment or Justice card. Let's see. Yeah, the Tower. This is the pivotal moment. More fire. This is it's like you're a cannon. You're being moved into position and then fire. You know, you're aiming the rocket ship, you're being lined up, and then, ignition, right? This is the shift. This is the pivotal moment. There's going to be life before this and life after this. This is an exclamation point. This is a moment that defines a section of your life. The Tower is an event or a moment that you will never forget. This is a crucial moment in the story. If you're watching a film, this is that part of the movie that you don't want to miss it. If you're reading a book, this is the part where you really got to pay attention because it's going to set everything else up. This is radical change. This is a radical shift in your destiny, in your timeline. Things are in motion, and it's right on time, and this is it. But again, it needs to be aimed in the right direction. And it needs to be well thought out and thoughtful and not crazy, hectic, frantic, but controlled and intentional and ignition. Yeah, blast off. This is really cool. We're going to do an extended reading as well. If you want to stick around, there's a link in the corner. There's a link down below somewhere. New readings for Libra are on Mondays and Thursdays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we are all in this together.